So excited. Okay, gonna have some fun. I have had this for a while, and always just, I've done a few different things out of this collection. You know, used a few sheets, I should say. Other than that, I have really not touched this. It used to be I used to buy everything. I don't do that so much anymore. Makes it a little harder, but it also, I don't know. I don't mean, because they're beautiful, but then your stuff doesn't look like everybody else's because everybody's using these and you're using different things, which I'm still going to use. I'm going to use some of these, but I'm going to use different stuff too. Yeah, you know. But this is a mix of two. This is typography and couture, which I always kind of thought that they, you know, for the most part kind of went together. And the ladies not so much, although this was never my favorite page in that book anyway. But for the most part, the papers, I think, can blend pretty nicely. I've got a lot of typography stuff and some couture. Like this is couture, and these two are typography. So these are the tags and pockets, and then this is chipboard pieces. So there's that, and this is couture. And I might split them up. I've literally pulled them out of the envelope and started the film. So you're seeing it as I'm getting reminded of what I had in here. To be honest, I thought it was just typography, but so I'm going to be looking here. Let's see. Couture. Okay, these are all couture. Very pretty. So apparently, I don't think I had a book for couture. I think I just ended up somehow buying a lot of different of the different sheets. And so far, still all couture, which is, I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful line. I don't know even if I have an 8x8, I might take this one on, but if all I have is those, I don't know if I will or not. I might just do typography. So here is some sheets from the typography collection. Here is some stickers. And then the 12x12 paper pack of the typography. Here's where I've taken some of that out. Let me see. Let's see what I've got here. Oh, I do have a couture in the 8x8. I might do myself a couture. Let's see. I went hog wild at a expo, and they had the graphic 45 8x8 pads were like $3 and something, and so I bought all of them they had. But I have this one. I think I'm gonna do the couture collection, and I might pull some of the typography out. Let's have some fun with this. Let's see, and I'm gonna have, let me see what black paper I'm going to use. This is basil. I have, I don't think I need the basil doing this. I have a Recollections black, and I think that black will be just fine. I think this will be just fine. Okay, so there we go. Now let's see, what am I going to use for cover? I think I'm going to just do the whole thing in black, and then I will tape bits and pieces. I think this is stunning. So, I know the one paper that looks funny on YouTube when I see people use it is this one. I couldn't tell what it was. It is ladies in a black dress. It's this dress, this lady on a blue background, and I couldn't ever tell what the heck it was. So that's about the only print in this that I don't like, and it's because I kept going, what is that? Hold it still. This is another one that's kind of funky looking, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad. Here's a better look at that one. That's kind of funky looking. I have to admit. And then what is the back of that? I don't know that I have that one. I don't know that I have that one in a big one or to show you. Nope. Nope, I don't have it. So anyway, okay. Wow. And then I think, see, now that's not the same. That's a little, I don't know, a little brighter. So maybe it won't work quite the same together. This is really kind of, I don't know, I like this typography, but I'll do this another time. Because I've got enough stuff with that typography that I will do that one all by itself, and I'm going to do this one all by itself. All right. So now, what size am I going to do? I am going to do, what size am I going to do? I've got an 8x8 paper pad, which is the majority of the paper I'm going to have. So, I could basically do, like a 7, let's do a 7x9. Well, what, 8x10. Maybe just an 8x10 size would be good. 8x10 size. I think that's going to work for me. 8x10. Okay. All right. So I'm going to kind of get organized and get my chipboard cut, or bookboard. I think I'll use bookboard, and I shall return. Okay. So pull these papers out of here, and this my black paper. This is a book that I gutted. It was a bunch of just sale things, you know, dining, area maps, lodging, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I am going to take this, I'm going to take the binding off of this, and I'm going to use this board. I'll clean it up, and I'm going to use this for my for my covers. So let's see here. Get down to the actual, there we go. I'm not wanting to take this paper off, because then I'm going to be cutting into the board, because the paper is glued on there pretty well. Let's see. So as long as I can get them up here, you know, so you can see how you can do this with a little bit of patience. Come on. And you can see how you can do this. Okay. Just kind of work your way back and forth. But let me tell you, book board is expensive, and so if you can figure out ways of saving you some costs, there's nothing wrong with reusing book board, because this is still very strong and sturdy. Okay, trying to keep the mess to a minimum. I want to make sure that once I get this all cleaned up, that I'm working with the same size on both sides. That I'm not, you know, making sure that I'm not cutting into the board itself, just cutting off the excess paper. There we go. All right. Put these two together. Very nice. Okay. Dump this. Oops. Sorry about that. Okay. And then the only other thing I'm going to need is spine. So I will figure out what I'm going to do with that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have 8.5 by 10, and then I got a 3-inch spine, and then I have 2, and I think this is going to work. Got 2 pieces of 12 by 12. If I center this, I'm more than enough room. Okay, so this is some basil, and this is licorice twist. And this is pretty much, I think, 1/4 of an inch right here. So I'm going to get my 1/4 of an inch score tape. And I've got it on both sides. And I'm going to butt that up together, which will give me just a little bit more. Well, 1/4 of an inch more. So I'm just going to get my tape on here. Alrighty. Burnish this down. Take the covering off here. Yep. There we go. And then I'm going to match up these two sides. Let's make sure that this is folded back on itself. Not that it really makes a whole lot of difference because this will be folded over. And then I'm just going to match this up. There we go. All right. Oops. I should have taken the time to clean off my table. All right. Okay. 8.5. I can put this through. Let me get it. I love my Xyron. This is the 9-inch Xyron, and even though this is a little bit heavy, a thickness to go through this, it makes it. You just have to help it along here. You see it. I don't want to damage my roller, and I don't know that this, it takes regular chipboard, but this is bookboard, and I don't know that it's going to want to, no, I'm not going to damage it. So, no, not worth it. Like I said, it takes regular chipboard, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some regular, this is just Aleene's tacky glue. This is the least expensive glue that I use. And get a, you know, they send you these cards in the mail, and this is going to, I'm going to do this first because I'm going to center that. And I tell you, the last time I did this, I didn't get it straight worth a hill of beans, and I was very upset with myself. So this time I will be getting some assistance. Let me see if I can get this. There we go. Squeeze the bejeebies out of that stuff. This stuff is so thick. Okay, so let's see what I end up with here. always want it on all of the corners. And spread everywhere. Just like icing on a cake, you don't want any part of the cake to not have icing on it. You don't want any part of your chipboard to not have the glue. Gotta have the glue. Okay. Alrighty. I need some more. Once I get it covered, then I can kind of take the excess off, because I don't need it so saturated. And I will lay that right there. Glue out of my hands. All right. So I'm going to eyeball centering it, because that's not the biggest worry. The biggest worry is just that I'm not putting it on crooked onto my paper. And I like to move it a smidge around so it really makes sure there's not a puddle of glue. Kind of gets moved around. All right. But if you don't get the glue moved around and you don't get it glued all the way down, well, I hate that sound of crackle, crackle, crackle when you don't get part of it glued down. It just drives me nuts. Okay, and this basil paper is thick enough that it can totally take. Oops, make sure. Oops, I'm sorry guys. It can totally take the excess liquid from the glue. If it was the Recollections cardstock, I wouldn't be doing this. I would have come up with a different way of doing it. I don't know what that would have been, but I don't have to think about it because this is working. Now I am going to take my 1/4 inch score tape and I'm going to butt up right up against my, oops, come up there. There we go. My spine, give me that 1/4 inch there. So it gives me a guide to getting these down. Now I think I would like to have this edge here and the finished edge out. So let me get this glue wiped down here and squeeze some more down. Now you can totally do it where you're having it all up at top. And pull it down. Just reload for the, get this little upper bit here. And one nice thing about the Aleene's is it does not dry fast. I mean, it's not the slowest glue in the world, but it does not dry fast. It gives you enough time to get this part done. It is a whole lot easier with double-sided, but that's all right. It's a good size for this book. It's a good size. And we are almost there. And I'm just laying it on its side. I'm not standing it up because I don't want to have to wait forever for the glue to flow back down to the end of the bottle. So I don't know if you can see that. Just a little bit more. You want to make sure that you're not getting any spots that aren't getting glue. Oh man, is this killing my hand. Alrighty. Make sure that you've got glue everywhere. This is not a time to skimp or get in a hurry. I mean, you don't want to just dilly-dally. Can't get up and go pee or anything. Alrighty. I think we're pretty good. So this is going to have to go over here. And we're just going to line that up. Pull this over. Get okay. I'll get my head in there for a second. No, that looks good. Get my hand all cleaned off now. I'm gonna get it smushed down pretty well. Give it a little wiggle. Now let's flip her over. Be gentle. Get it all smushed around in there. And then once we get this done, we're going to let it dry really, really well before we move on. if you start doing it too soon, sorry, banging you around. Start to do it too soon, you'll mess up what you've spent quite a bit of time trying to get done. All right, now we're going to flip this over this way. And once we're done, we'll put this under some weight. Now let me make sure I glue the proper side. This is getting glued. All right. Now some people would add some water to this to thin it down a little bit, but I just assume leave it the way it is. It's not that expensive of a glue. Oh, killing my hands. This is certainly not for the faint of heart. Okay. Alright, let's see where we're at here. Let me stand that up so I can keep that glue coming down to the bottom. There we go. And another reason I like using these cards is I don't have to go and wash a brush, and I'm not messing up a brush because I'm using glue. You know, brushes weren't really made to have glue stuck in them. So these little cards, man, you get 100 of them. You know, or you get the, especially during election years, you get all kinds of that heavier plastic, and all you gotta do is cut it up into this size, or whatever size you would prefer it to be in. Yeah, going much faster when I leave I'm leaving the bottle standing up with the tip down in a cup here, and killing my hand though. But it's going much faster. Alright, let's see. First time I did it. Okay, that might be all we needed. No, I need one more little squirt. Alrighty. That didn't work out real well right there. Let's see if I can cover that up again. Okay guys, just one more squirt right there. And now I'm going to flip this around, slide it over, line it up. Give it a little schmutz. There we go, and Okay. Let me clean my hands. Flip her over. Put this back over here and get this. Got quite a bit on there. When it bubbles up like that on this paper, I had way too much. There we go. I've got dry pieces of glue. There we go. Now let me make sure I don't have that much here. I didn't work the glue on that side nearly as well as I should have. Back over here. Alright. Let's see, flip it back over. Okay. I think we're doing pretty well here. Let's see, this one now I went back through and re-squished it. It is doing much better as far as holding on to the ends. Alright, put this on here. Now I'm going to let this dry very well before I start folding it over and pulling and pushing and all that stuff, because I want this to be good and dry, stuck down, held down, all that good stuff. Okay guys, so we will come back when this is ready. Okay, so this is dried nicely now, and I got a little bit of a bend, so I'm just putting a little bit of bend back into, get that bend out of there. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to give this a little, start giving this a little bit of a bend, getting it ready. This basil is very thick paper, so just trying to do it nice and slow. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, where's my tape? We can have all the room in the world, and we're still going to cover up something when we... Oh, holy Hannah. Okay. So, you know, just kind of the regular, putting the tape where it's gonna catch the paper. Come on. I'm sorry if I'm going a little off screen, but all I'm doing is putting the tape on the edges of the book board here. There we go. And then I'm gonna take a nice piece of this. Put it along here. I'm not taking it all the way to the corners because you know you cut those corners off. So that you're thinning up. And then the rest of it's going to get glue. Okay. A little easier when you're pulling it towards it. And then here I'm trying to just kind of get an idea of where my, you know, where my folds are so that I can give a little cut. So I'm just gonna cut a little bit here and a little there. Leaving a little bit that I can fold under. And remember, this is if you're, you got to remember how much you're leaving also has something to do with the thickness of your board as well. So, you know, if this is a much thicker board than, you know, chipboard, so I'm trying to leave myself a little bit more, and I think the one edge here I got a little bit too close. I hope I left enough over there, but we'll find out, won't we? Okay, so we're gonna do a long end first. Let me get this. That nice and pushed up against there. I'm gonna put the glue there we go. Let's get this. I'm gonna go ahead and take, oops, go ahead and take these center, oopsie, these center pieces off as well. A little bit got some glue on it, so it's alright if you can't get all of the paper off because of glue. There we go. And see, every place I had a little bit of glue that I didn't get quite of it off, all of it off of there, I'm not able to get the paper out of. But nobody's going to see it, and certainly don't take the chance of popping through the paper just to get a little teeny piece of the backing off. Come on. That's all right. There we go. All right. And this piece. And let's get part of these pieces. All right. Let's do this one more time. And I'm going to pull this over. Let's get a little more glue on here. I'm not putting it on the tape, just putting it on the paper. Sure, this is very heavy paper, and I think I didn't get that pulled over quite well enough, and I got a little bit of a wrinkle in there, but I think for the most part it's gonna. Then I'm just gonna take this, kind of smooth down that side of the book. There we go. Okay, get this good bend to it. Flip it around. There we go. And some glue in here, start softening all of that areas that I'm going to be putting that quite a bit of fold into. Yeah. So start softening that bit of that paper there. There we go. Oh, see, now I took the whole thing right off of there. Whoopsie. Let's burnish it. Makes it work better. Be a little more time consuming, time careful. Put it on and pull it off. All right. Now, let me see. Yeah, that one, this side's working a little better. There we go. And again, I'm going to take this. All right. Okay. Now let's get this out of here. Forgot to pull this one out. No problem. Oh, moving the camera again. Okay. All right, now this is the one I did not get that very good at all. Not very good at all, so I'm really gonna have to baby this one. baby it. This one I can push over. Okay. There we go. Okay, I just had enough to cover that corner. I'm just making sure that I've pushed that down around in there. I didn't add any more glue to the flap, and I usually do, but it's good. Okay, so I'm gonna put come on. There we go. And then let's get a little, there we go, a little extra. Fold the edges over. There we go. Wonderful. All right. So there we go. Beautiful. Now if you ever get little tidbits on and it doesn't want to come off with your, you know, if you're scratching it and all of that, just take your glue eraser and sometimes that will work. Alright, so there's the album done, and so I'll figure out what I'm going to put on the front and I'll be back.